Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host, Liz.
Welcome back to Ouch, Was That a Ghost? With Liz and
I'm Natty.
Natty. My co-host at Creep It Weird.
Yeah. Keeping it down home.
All down home.
Say you're from the Midwest without saying you're from the Midwest. I can't believe those words just came out of my face.
I wanted to look up that euchre you were talking about before, and I never did.
Oh my god, euchre is the shiznit. That is the best game ever. It's way better than poker.
Well, poker's kind of boring. I like Texas Hold'em.
Euchre's better.
And I actually blew off a game tonight to do a recording with you.
Ooh.
But Mike, if you're listening, this wasn't your birthday game. This was the day after. That was yesterday that I blew you off.
We were just letting all the dirty laundry's flying. We're just emptying that hamper.
All right. So today I'm covering the Cottingley Fairies. Fairies are supernatural beings from folklore, often depicted as magical, human-like creatures with extraordinary abilities and a close connection to nature and the spirit world. Their origin story is derived from mythology and folklore. They're said to exist between the human and the spirit world, or nature spirits. Some say they're remnants of races thought to be extinct. I am going to do a full episode on fairies one day, but this is just for people that don't know what fairies are.
I think you'd have to break it up.
There's too much.
There's so much information surrounding fairies that you would have to break it down to like the classes of fairies.
Yeah, so I'm just saying this is not a full fairy episode. This is just about the Cottingley Fairies.
Okay.
Cottingley is a village I've seen in the city of Bradford, district of Yorkshire, England, and some say it's a village near the city of Bradford, so I'm not sure. Their titles are so long. It's like in the village of the Providence of
the castle beyond the tree line of this, behind that third row of grass.
But they sound so fancy when they say it.
I know, it's the accent.
Is that it? Not
yeah,
the
length. The accent makes everything sound fancy.
I feel like they should have a town crier giving out everyone's address.
I'm sure they could say dirty butthole and it would still sound fancy.
Bloody dirty butthole. That's a terrible accent. I'm probably going to cut that.
Gosh. So I used to know a guy and literally I would only talk to him because of his accent.
Oh, I've had that before.
And I'd be like, say this, say that. And he would do it. And I'm like, yes. I was like, that is awesome. They're so funny when they cuss. It's fantastic.
Hilarious. And they're always mad. The ones that I know, they're always mad about everything. That's like, it's the Irish, like with the brogue.
It's like the opposite of Canada. Anti-Canada.
Always pissed at the world. But it's funny. I think that's just their baseline, I think is just pissed. So I'm afraid to see them really pissed. Anyway, there goes all the British listeners and Irish.
Yeah, sorry, Britain.
So what we're going to talk about today is probably one of Cottingley's most well-known events from that village. The time that some young girls got photos of fairies.
I know a lady who has photos of fairies and I've seen them and they are legit.
Oh, really?
Like legit. You zoom in, it's a little person in a ball of light. It is insane.
You gotta show them to me.
Well, I was at an event that I was at.
That's freaking awesome.
I'm sure I probably have her business card somewhere. It's pretty intense.
It's widely believed that children, maybe because they're less jaded by the world or just being less skeptical overall, or maybe because they're more in tune with their imagination pre-adult life. They don't have bills or gas bills like we do now. So they're thought to be more likely to see fae or fairies than adults. So back in the summer of 1917, 9-year-old Frances Griffiths, her father was away in the military, so Frances and her mother moved in with her cousin's family in Cottingley. Do you get that?
I got that.
Like her and her mother, the father was away, so they went to go stay with her cousin. And there, Frances could play with her 16-year-old cousin, Elsie Wright. The two girls, even though they had this big age gap, they became really close, played together often, fast friends, They enjoyed playing behind the family garden down by the water. And after a few times of coming back at dinner time, all dirty or wet, the parents asked, why do you keep going down there? And they replied because they were playing with fairies.
Okay.
So the parents teased the kids about the answer.
I was going to say, nowadays when you say that, you got to be careful.
Yeah, let's take a drive to the hospital. But they kept going down by the water. One day, 16-year-old Elsie asked her father if she could use his Midge quarter plate camera to take some photos down there. He said sure, and the girls went out for an hour or so, and they returned to the house. Elsie with photos ready to be developed. And her father went into the darkroom with the plate because they didn't have 1 hour photo back then. You had to go into an actual darkroom and develop it.
Who the fuck just has a dark room chilling in their house?
Well, 1917.
Still, not everybody's got a dark room.
Not everyone, but if you have a camera, it's useless unless you make a darkroom. And you can make a darkroom in a closet. It's not like a big thing. It's just a place so it can stay dark enough so the photos can develop.
Okay.
And then her father emerged with a developed photo.
Wait. Whose father? Because I thought the father was away.
Elsie's father. That's the 16-year-old where...
The uncle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me show you the first photo. So he emerged with a photo. The photo is of Frances surrounded of what looks like 4 dancing winged fairies. This is the younger cousin that went to go stay with her.
They look like Barbie.
The fairies do?
They look like dolls. They don't look real.
You are just a negative Nancy today.
Well, they do. Look at them. They just look like... Hold on. Let me zoom in. No, they still look like figurines.
But a month later, the girls got another picture. This time, instead of it being Frances, this is a picture of Elsie with a winged... And I'll put these photos on social media. I can probably link one to the episode, but the other ones I'll put in social media if anyone wants to check them out. Or you can just look up the Cottingley Fairy photos. But this was a picture of Elsie with a winged gnome-looking creature.
That one doesn't look as much like a doll. It does look creepy as hell, though. Look at its face. Zoom in and look at its face. It looks evil.
Elsie's father, like Natasha, didn't believe the photos were real. But Elsie's mother was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. You got pictures of fairies.
Kudos, Mom. Way to support your child, even though they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
In 1919, about 2 years after the first photo was taken, Elsie's mother was at a Theological Society meeting in Bradford, where they were lecturing on fairy life. After the meeting, Elsie's mother, Polly, showed the first 2 pictures the girls had taken to others at the meeting. And word eventually made its way to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Most know him as the author of a little series, Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
He was also a spiritualist and interested in the paranormal. Deeply interested. At the time, he was starting an article about fairies for the Strand magazine. And he was already interested in fairies, and after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle found the photographs to be legit, he was convinced. In 1920, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle went on to publish an article about the fairy photos, and he also published the photos along with it in 1920 in the Strand magazine's Christmas edition. The article and pictures that were published were looked at in awe by some, while others were skeptical, like Natasha.
You know what? There's a perfectly good reason why I'm skeptical about this first photo. All right, go to the first photo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to zoom in. Zoom in on the fairy all the way to the left.
Okay.
And if that bitch is at that angle, for starters, her leg is backwards. Almost. And the way that she's sitting, her dress should be aimed downward and not to the right.
Well, she looks like she's dancing almost.
But still, the flow of the dress is not making sense on most of these fairies.
The math ain't mathin'.
And then if you look at the one all the way to the right, what is up with her back leg?
That looks almost like her dress flapping back.
But there's no foot on either stick on the backside.
Well, I think the foot on her left foot is covered by leaves, is what it looks like to me.
It just looks weird.
Skeptical Sally today.
It just, and the whites don't match the whites. And the hair's not flowing right. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to quit looking at the photo.
So the article and pictures were published and they were looked at in awe by some, and others were skeptical. But even the skeptics couldn't figure out if it was faked. How did they fake the photos? So Sir Arthur Conan Doyle got the girls a new camera to try to capture more of these enchanting creatures in photos. There was a total of 5 pictures. I'm going to send you the next one.
All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see here.
Here, I'll just send you the other 3 right away. So you'll get the last 3 all at once.
So why is the fairy so clear and everything else in her face is so fuzzy?
Natasha, I was not there. I did not take these photographs.
Okay, the most realistic one is the last one you sent me.
The fairy mound?
Yes.
The next photo that I sent you there was one in 1920. That's the one where Frances is shown side profile looking at a jumping fairy. That's the 3rd one I sent you. And then the 4th one is Elsie, and she, again, is almost side profile, but looking at a fairy that's holding something out to her, almost like she's going to give her something.
Looks like a piece of cake.
She's offering her a snack.
Looks like a tiny piece of cake.
And then...
Never take food from a fairy.
Don't do it.
If you're in fairyland, do not eat or drink anything. Okay.
And the last photo is from 1920, and that's just of the fairies, no girls in the picture, and the fairies are like in twigs. It's almost like a little fairy mound type thing.
That one looks the most legit to me.
And people were still skeptical, the girls were scrutinized, but never wavered that these pictures were of magical creatures. Now, we're going to jump forward decades to 1982.
Okay.
Like, this is decades and decades later. Leeds University had the original camera, and they managed to find the original negatives. And Geoffrey Crowley, an editor of the British Journal of Photography, went on this major investigation of the photographs and the events surrounding them. After he undertook this major undertaking, he included that the original negatives had been altered or doctored. The girls were confronted, and they admitted that, yes, they had faked the photos. But that they really had seen fairies. Adults were teasing them, and they wanted them to stop. So they concocted this to prove the adults wrong. And Elsie, who was very artistic, had experience in a photo studio with photographs at a time where the general public's knowledge of photographic manipulation was limited at best, if any, because, I mean, not everyone had a camera.
Yeah.
What Elsie did was I'm going to send you one more photo. She traced some girls from the book
Boom.
Princess Mary's Gift Book. And once they were traced, she drew them on cardboard cutouts, and then she added some wings to the pictures and stood the cutouts up with hat pins at the base. And them being cutouts and being held up with a pin, it appeared as if the fairies were moving in the photos. So it added to it because they were blowing a little bit in the wind. The photos took off in their story. Arthur Conan Doyle believed it. So the girls were too embarrassed to admit what they'd done, and they didn't want to embarrass Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who defended publicly these photos for decades. But Frances claims that the 5th photograph of the fairies they called it their sunbath, was genuine. She said, quote, "It was a wet Saturday afternoon, and we were just mooching about with our cameras, and Elsie had nothing prepared. I saw these fairies building up in the grasses and just aimed the camera and took a photograph."
Wait, the one that I said looks the most legit?
Yeah, she said that was real.
Okay.
But some say they were all crap, but the girls did say that they actually did see fairies.
Well, yeah, I could have told you that I saw fairies when I was a kid. I used to try to catch them. Me and my friend made fairy traps. We were trying to catch fairies.
Aw, that's so cute.
So I could have been like, yeah, I totally saw one. But I didn't because I wasn't a liar.
It's called imagination. But I mean, it is funny how the public's opinion can be swayed so easily because Arthur Conan Doyle, like a prominent person, was like, yeah, it's real. So everyone was like, he believed it. So it has to be real. It was on TV.
Yeah.
It has to be real.
Yeah, it's on TV. It's got to be real.
But a lot of people say that maybe because of the wartime stress, they were looking for some kind of magical escape, like how we stare at Hulu or Netflix. Maybe back then
Yeah.
Fairy was their streaming service to get your mind off of how junky the world is, Or it could have been the time. The spiritualism was huge back then, so that could have
Yeah.
fed
They're
into
more
it.
likely to jump on board.
Frances died in 1986 and Elsie in 1988. Some of their prints and a first edition of Arthur Conan Doyle's writing about the fairies sold for over £21,000 in 1998.
Damn.
The pictures and cameras that the girls used are at the National Science and Media Museum in Bradford, England. Watercolors painted by Elsie of fairies and a letter from Elsie admitting to faking the pictures are also there. I mean, even if it's real or fake, it's so impressive that girls back then, like young girls at a time where girls were worth like nothing in the world,
Yeah.
could pull this off.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the fact, I mean, yeah, they got a lot of grief for it, but so many people that supported them after, of course, the man decided that it was true. Then they all jumped on board. Just like, I'm going to throw that out there. A man agreed, and then it was okay.
Yeah. But I love how they were like, yep, this is what we're doing. And they did it and they just sold it.
Yep.
# women power.
Yeah. Girl power.
Girl power.
Flower power.
So what do you think? Do you think they saw any fairies at all? Or do you think the whole thing was just...
Honestly, they probably faked all of it. That one, it was just the way that the photo sits. It looks more legitimate, but I'd have to sit there and like stare at it and like dive into it to see if like how, bullshit I think it is. But overall, I'd say it was probably their imagination. And like you said, they were too afraid to come out and say what they did because everybody was on board by then. It was kind of like the Fox sisters.
Mm-hmm. I love a good scheme.
Yeah, I do not like schemes because the scheming just degrades the authenticity of every other person who might actually see something.
I get that part. It's more just about women having a voice at a time that they didn't. It's not about like...
Well, it'd be nice if they had a voice that was honest because then maybe more people would listen to us.
I get your point. I just like the girls do make big moves at a time where they weren't supposed to.
They're airheaded and fanciful. Well, guess what? It's because the ones that did were. No wonder why we all have a bad rap. Now, do I believe that the Fae is real? Yes. These particular ones? No.
But who's to say the last one?
It just, I don't know. There's just something about it that still is like, they very well could have. It just looks more three-dimensional than the other ones did.
And I know they actually sent these photos when they were investigating to Kodak, and Kodak was like, well, we can't prove that they're fake. So they tried, but they couldn't.
Yeah, the hand does look a little funky on that last one.
The last with the girls
But
in
it's
them.
got her like in the grass. It's like got the blades of grass and stuff that's underneath it. I don't know. I just feel like it looks at least more legitimate. Still not like, ooh, wow, that's amazing. But at least better than the other ones. They stepped up their game on that photo.
During wartime, I would have been all in. I would have been like buying the magazine. I'd be buying the National Enquirers.
You buy those magazines. What is it where they talk about Men in Black and they like get those like bullshit magazines and they're like, this is where all the real news is.
Yes. I never bought them. When I was waiting in line at the grocery store, I'd always pick up the National Enquirer and read a few pages.
Oh, geez.
You don't want to know who Elvis has a baby with?
No.
No?
It's probably a lizard woman. At Area 51's their home.
Yes. I'm this year, I'm telling you, I'm conspiracy all the way. I wasn't before. Now the conspiracies are all real. They're proven. They're no longer conspiracies. So what the hell is happening to this world?
I will be bringing some to Creep It Weird then.
Yes, I hope so.
I've got a whole slew of them.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't fully believe, but I don't fully think that they didn't either.
I'd like to see what like the forest area, like a lot of for me is the vibe. Like what kind of vibe is it putting off? Because there's some places that are very mystical. Just walking in, you can feel it.
It's called what do you call? It's not a like. Hold on, let me look up the word for it. Here, I'm just going to show you. This is where it's beautiful. Where they said they saw the fairies, which does look magical. Oh, it's a beck. That's what it's called.
A beck?
A beck of water, like a stream of water, but it's a beck.
Oh, yeah. That minus the weird house in the back. Yes.
Doesn't that look magical?
It does look pretty magical. I'll give you that. Like I said, minus the house in the background. I feel like fairies would not be that close to a building.
Maybe stopping through. Quick little bath in the beck.
It looks like it could be a good little shower for them. Yeah, fae, yes. These ones in particular, I'm going to say no.
All right. I'm on the fence again, as in everything. As if you listen to our Creep It Weird episode we've recorded today, on the fence on that one too. I'm just teetering. Don't mind me.
Not me. This one I'm putting both feet. Both feet are planted on this one.
Crap for Natasha.
Yep.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for coming over. And if everybody enjoys Natasha like I do,
well, lovely. Thank you.
Check us out over on Creep It Weird, where we have a bunch of new episodes. Well, we have one coming out every week. So if you want to...
Yeah, go check it out. We got all kinds. We got all the stuff and things.
All the stuff. Do all the things for Creep It Weird. So...
Yep, all the things. And do all the things for Ouch, too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for listening. And thank you, Natasha, for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you need more content or just want to help support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you need some snazzy merch, you can find it at crowdmade.com by searching Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email it to ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms under Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Help me.
All links can also be found on ouchwasthataghost.com.